Georgia Public Broadcasting presents the 2006 Georgia High School Association's football semifinals. Funding for this program is provided in part by Georgia Electric Membership Corporations, the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, IBEW Local 613, Atlanta, Wachovia, the Georgia Student Finance Commission, by viewers like you, and the Georgia High School Association, who wish to thank the Georgia Dodge dealers, State Farm, and Verizon Wireless for their support of high school sports programming on GPB.
Semifinal weekend begins here live at the Georgia Dome with the Class 3A state semifinal. It's the Tigers from Carver against the Shaw Raiders at 11-2. It's the 10th year Georgia Public Broadcasting has brought you the GHSA football championships, and we begin the first of 5 football games today right here on GPB. Hello everybody, I'm John Wilkerson along with Bo Bach, and here we are at the Georgia Dome in Atlanta, and what do we get? The Battle of Columbus.
I'll tell you what, folks, if you're looking for some action with your coffee and donut, we've got it for you, because there's nothing like a backyard Donnybrook, and these two teams only a couple of miles apart in Columbus want to have bragging rights for the next 12 months. Let's take a look at some of the players. That's number 6, Chris Kyles for Carver. He ran for 196 in week 2 versus Shaw in their win over Shaw. Only 5'8", 175, but a 305 bench. He runs low to the ground. He's got quicks and power. On the defensive side of the ball, let's take a look at number 44, Taiwan Jones. He's a linebacker. He's their sack leader. Only 5'9", but 215. He's got a 270 bench. He runs a 4.7 40, and he'll be their defensive inspiration.
Del McGee is his second year as head coach at Carver. He tells you about the Tigers.
Well, offensively, we're a multiple offensive set. We'll run out the shotgun. We're also a pro-eye team, and we also get double tight wishbone and try to run right at you. We try to just mix it up and see where we can find weaknesses on your defense and see if we can get somebody lined up on a mismatch. On defense, we line up in a 50. And we're a read and slant team, and we just try to get more people to the football than you can block.
Now, Del McGee has won a championship before. A few years back, he played for the Los Angeles Extreme of the XFL, and they won the only league title, so he got a championship ring for that. Now, let's tell you about the Shaw Raiders, and they've got an outstanding running game, and one of those guys we're spotlighting is number 3, Arsenio Williams.
Well, Arsenio Williams ran for almost 1,200 yards this year. He's got 15 TDs, and listen to this, a 10.1 rushing average. He's only 5'8", 175, but he runs a 4.4 40, and folks, you're going to enjoy watching him this morning. He really picks him up and puts him down. On the defensive side of the ball, there's number 17, Ben Silvera, number 7. He's the middle linebacker, 5'10", 190. He leads the team in tackles with 94, and he too is Shaw's defensive leader.
Now, his first year, Craig Fritz has brought the Raiders to the Dome. He gives you the lowdown on them.
Offensively, we were going to run we base our package out of the wing tee, and we run some variations out of the wing tee. We also spread it out some, try to throw the ball around a little bit. We have 3 good running backs that we try to spread the handoffs around to, and we have 2 or 3 good receivers. Defensively, we're looking at we run an even front, and we try to play some assignment football up front and try to put the guys in the spot they're supposed to be to make the tackles when they're supposed to.
So just a little bit more than just bragging rights in this game between Shaw and Carver, I'm sorry. Now let's let's tell you about or introduce you to the third member of our crew down the field, Scott Kozlowski. Good morning, Scott.
Thank you very much, guys. Good morning. I had the chance to talk to both of the coaches before the game, and both of them expressed a little concern about this 9 a.m. start. They said they need to get their kids to wake up and get off to a fast start. In fact, I talked to one of the players in the tunnel walking out here, and I said, "What's it like to play at 9 a.m.?" He looked at me and said, "I don't know." Now joining me as a special guest, this is Andrew Wittenberg from WTVM in Columbus, Georgia, Channel 9. You know these teams very well. Tell me what we can expect today.
Yeah, I've been talking and comparing this a lot to last weekend's SEC championship game. Shaw, a little bit the more sexy offense. They like to throw the ball a little bit more. I look to them to get it to the air to Georgia commitment, Bruce Figgins today. But on the Carver side, a little bit more like Arkansas from last weekend. They run the ball quite effectively. They have a bunch of different ways to get the ball to their playmakers. Chris Kyle's great back, and their quarterback, Deron Furr, very good as well. So you got to look to them to run the game. I like Shaw, though, in the rematch. Not to say the win by Carver was a fluke back in September, but Shaw, I think, has progressed a little bit more over the course of the year, and I think they'll win here today.
All right, thank you very much, Andrew. We're looking forward to it. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Scott. We're getting ready to kick off round 2 of the Battle of Columbus. Carver and Shaw. It's coming at you right after this. Oh, yeah, it's time to play some football here at the Georgia Dome. And entering the arena is the Carver Tigers from Columbus, Georgia.
Carver marching on, John, while Shaw taking the field in the customary fashion. Now they break through as they go through their little sign there.
4 teams left in Class 3A, Carver and Shaw. Carver 12-1, Shaw 11-2. Then after that one, we have Peach County, the defending champions, taking on Washington County. Peach County at 12-1, Washington County at 11-2. That'll come immediately following the Battle of Columbus. And you talk about the Carver team, you're looking at a worst of first scenario. 3-8 last year, dropped down from Class 4A to Class 3A, and here they are. We're fortunate to get some transfers, and here they are in the Georgia Dome for the first time. And pretty impressive offensive numbers there, Bo.
Yeah, Coach McGee has done a great job. And wait until you see both of these teams. We're going to see some points today, John, this morning, I should say. They're up and down the field, both of these teams. You're going to see some long breakaway runs from both clubs. It should be fun.
A good look at the silver and black of the Shaw Raiders, and their offensive numbers are pretty impressive as well.
Yeah, they are. Shaw, they don't have the breakaway speed like the Arsenio Williams of Carver, but they have, or I should say of Shaw, but they do have the breakaway speed. Carver is more pick them up and put them down and pick your spots.
Chandler Anderson, number 22 for the Raiders, getting set to kick off. And round 2 of the Battle of Columbus is underway. And it's dropped down to the 4-yard line.
Well, that's what it's like playing at 9 o'clock in the morning. You just drop a loaf of bread right there, just outside the goal line.
That was Devin Lewis who fielded it for the Tigers. So Carver Columbus will take over deep in their own territory at the 2. And Deron Furr will lead the troops for the Tigers. He's a junior. Well over 900 yards passing and 7 touchdowns. He is the playmaker. He's got a strong arm, and his coach says he thrives in pressure situations, and I can't think of a more pressure situation right off the bat than this, and already a penalty flag. So an illegal substitution foul called on Carver Columbus. They'll move them back to the 1, and not a way to start off your first trip to the Dome, Bo.
No, it sure isn't. And like I said, I guess this is what it means to play at 9 o'clock in the morning when your clock is just not set.
So deep in its own end zone is Deron Furr. Chris Kyle's right next to him in the shotgun. That's Jonathan Baker in motion. And Furr gets out of trouble, picks up a couple of yards, and that's it. Ben Silvera on the tackle.
Well, he did a good job there and just, taking care of business, not throwing it away down there deep and giving them a chance to come back in.
Andrew Sellers, Jackson, Ronald Bray, Torrey Mobley, and Darrell Royal, your offensive line. Bray's a good one at the center position. Kyles, Fortson, Chen, Washington, and Jones are your skill people for the Tigers on 2nd down and 9. And Furr will keep it. Brought down by Anton Grappenried. Here's the Shaw defense. Williams, Winston, Pickett, and Smith are your front four. They run a 4-3. Smith, Shannon, Ben Silvera, as we showed you at the top of the show. He's a good one. Grappenried just made the tackle. Jackson, Willis, and Ship. Ivan Ship in the secondary. So 3rd down and 4. And the Raider defense could use a big stop here. Throw is incomplete. It was tipped at the line of scrimmage. Jarvis Jones was the intended receiver for Carver, and it's 3 and out for the Tigers.
Well, you can see what kind of arm he has. It's really live.
Good look at Del McGee, the second-year head coach of the Tigers.
Coach McGee played at Auburn, was drafted in the 5th round of the Arizona Cardinals, and he brought his team out early to walk around the dome and to get acclimated, not be surprised when they walked out here out of the locker room.
Booker with the punt, and out of bounds at the 20-yard line. Kyle Griswold, and so Shaw will start off an excellent field position.
Well, he missed that punt. That came directly off the side of his foot. Never got a chance. And so the question was, what's it like playing at 9 a.m.? Watch this. Misses it. Boom. We're seeing all kinds of examples of what it's like to play at 9 a.m.
Wasn't a Sean Lindetta moment, but it was pretty darn close. So Shaw will take over at the Carver 20. That's Cam Greathouse under center. And he'll give it
Stuffed
to Gavin Scott. No, he got nowhere. That Tiger defense, gang tackling. Patrick Grant, Taiwan Jones all involved. As you take a look at Cam Greathouse, and he had an outstanding season, over 1,000 yards passing, 19 touchdowns, even ran for 8 touchdowns. He's completed 68% of his passes this year.
Keep your eye on number 3, Williams.
Lined up in a split in position. Give it to the first back through. That's Scott, and Scott has 10, has 14 yards as he gets to the 4-yard line. Brought down by Kobe Eason.
Offensive line did a tremendous job. Take a look at it here. Look at the opener. You can drive a truck through it. There it is. Boom. The right guard doing a great job. Protect the ball. There you go. Nice tackle at the end.
So right off the bat, Shaw has a chance to put some points on the board. You take a look at the Shaw offense. Offensive line of Marcus Jenkins, Justin Powell, Jarvis Pitts, Wade Claycomb, and Antonio Davison. And your skill position, Scott Bailey, Williams, Griswold, and Bruce Figgins, an excellent blocking tight end. He'll play for the University of Georgia. And the give is to the first back through, Gavin Scott, and he is thrown back. As you take a look at the Carver defense, Thomas, Martin, Davis, and Williams, a good front four. In fact, this defense is outstanding. Taiwan Jones, Patrick Grant, and Jonathan Johnson, and Patrick Grant is one of the good ones.
And he's a transfer from Shaw. Played in this game a year ago, except for Shaw.
And already a timeout called by Shaw, as they want to get this play right. And it seems like every year when we come to the Georgia Dome, it seems like timeouts are treated like basketball timeouts, to stop momentum, or in this case, to make sure we get the play right.
Get the right call and make sure that you can execute and everybody knows what they're supposed to do. They know this is going to be a shootout, and you want to be able to score every time you have the opportunity.
Columbus and Shaw have met since 1978. And actually, Carver has the lead over Shaw, 12-11. Shaw wins this one, they'll even up the series. In fact, up until the win back in September. Shaw had won 3 in a row over the Tigers. Carver winning 14-9 back in September. So here come the Raiders. On 2nd down and 8. And 2nd down and goal. Out of the I formation. It's Arsenio Williams. He goes nowhere. Goes right into the teeth of that defense. Jonathan Martin on the tackle.
Yeah, that defensive front has been excellent for Carver, except for that one run earlier in this sequence. But Williams is their flyer. He's not a power back. You'll see him right here. And you get him in the open field and he's gone. But right there, can't make anything happen. The offensive line couldn't open a hole as they did earlier.
It'll go for no gain. And so a 3rd down and goal. And get to the first back through that Scott. And Scott goes nowhere. What a performance by this Tiger defense with their backs against the wall. Alan Thomas and Patrick Grant gang up on Gavin Scott.
Not only are they playing well, they're playing in Shaw's backfield. They're getting penetration. They can't go anyplace. Chandler
Anderson comes out to attempt a 26-yard field goal. Now, he's a good one. He's 3 of 4 from field goal attempts this year, although he missed 2 in the quarterfinal game against Grady last week. His longest this year is 48 yards. This from 26. And he got it. And Shaw is on the board, 3-0. And they got a gift starting at the 20, bogged down, but they got 3 points out of it.
Got good wood on that one, and that's an advantage. You know, score first, get on the scoreboard first, and then hope your defense can hold Carver.
So in a way, we can say right off the bat, Shaw is winning the field position game in this Battle of Columbus.
Well, when you whiff on a punt, it's tough to recover from that.
Like I said, it wasn't exactly a Sean Linden moment. It was pretty darn close. And as I recall, well, we're in a dome, but as I recall, that was a cold day in Chicago. As you take a look at the Tigers coaching staff, and Fortson and Chin are back deep for the Tigers. It'll be Chin at the 2. And he's knocked down, stripped of the football. Shaw may have got another big break, and they did.
2 mistakes off the kickoff return game. It's unbelievable because you gave Shaw field position earlier. Now you give them field position again.
James Bradley would end up recovering it. Juan Pickett with the strip. Oh, well, we refer to the term domitis for first-time opponents coming into the dome. We've seen that right off the bat. Greathouse will throw, incomplete. Oh, and upended is Antonio Bailey.
Great tackling team. Great tackling team, and the slant was there. It wouldn't have gone for much, but it would have gone for 5.
That's because Dominique Short was right there to greet him. So we have a 2nd down and 10. Greathouse under center.
Slot's going to be open in the corner if they decide to throw. They keep it on the ground.
Instead, they give it to Scott, and Gavin Scott, just a couple of yards. He keeps trying to pound inside the teeth of that Tiger defense, and he's not getting much yardage at all. He'll pick up about 2. Jonathan Martin and the rest of the Tiger gang ready to take him down.
Another great opportunity for Shaw. There's Coach. He's been in the program for 8 years as 7 years as an assistant. This is his first year as a head coach.
You get the feeling he's a little frustrated with his offense right now. 2 gifts, and they haven't been able to move the ball much. Like to get 6 points here. Greathouse to throw, and it's complete touchdown. Touchdown to Chris Griswold. Kyle Griswold, I'm sorry. And so Shaw takes advantage, and it's 9-0 Raiders. Beautiful throw, a little juggle and a catch.
He's looking at his wide receiver. Good concentration to keep that ball after it was tipped.
Chandler Anderson on for the extra point. He's 45 of 50 from PATs. And he gets that one, and it's 10-0 Carver. So Shaw takes the lead 10-0. We'll have more when we come back from the Georgia Dome. There's a good look at Chris Griswold, the sophomore from Shaw. He just scored on a touchdown pass from his quarterback, Cam Greathouse, to make it 10-0 Shaw in the first few minutes of this ball game. And although you should take a look at some of the Shaw defense, they've performed well, but the offense from Carver is just not giving them any opportunities.
Well, their offense is turning it over. Turned it over. You drop the ball on a kickoff on the 2-yard line. So you can't come out, you got to play it safe, and then you fumble on the 15 on another kickoff. And that's got to drive Coach McGee absolutely crazy. Here you're going to see the pass again, play fake, southpaw quarterback, good concentration, and beats him to the pylon.
Malcolm Chin and Jamon Fortson are back deep for Carver, and it'll be Chin at the 4. It's across the 20. I'm sorry, that's Fortson. Jamon Fortson gets to the 30.
Wow, power at the end.
All the way to the 35-yard line. And gives his team a little breathing room offensively for the first time in this quarter.
Now Coach McGee can open up his playbook and hopefully get something done here and be more varied.
Del McGee, as I mentioned at the top of the show, he won a championship with the LA Extreme in the XFL. He has a little knowledge of championships. And on first down, that's Fortson, and he is met. I'm sorry, Chris Kyles, and he is met by a host of Raiders, Ben Silveira.
Both these teams, their history tells us this was going to be an up and down the field game. And we're going to here you see the handoff and the stuff. That looks like what Carver was doing to Shaw. Now Shaw's doing it to Carver. It's been just the opposite. It's been the defensive fronts that have taken over this game.
On second down, it's Kyles again. Not much there either. Maybe a yard, maybe 2. The Raider gang converges on him.
Well, on the 38-yard line, it's a passing down now with 3rd and about 5. So let's see what they can do.
Well, Duran Furr has thrown for 7 touchdowns this year. He is called the playmaker by his coach, Del McGee. Now the I formation. Kyle's in the back of the I. He gets the call. Tries to bounce outside. Nothing there. Maybe a yard. Grepp and Reed on the tackle.
I'm surprised, John, because you're down 10-0. You're at midfield, and the last thing you want to do is turn the ball back to Shaw in this situation. Thought for sure they'd be airing it out.
Well, you think psychologically a first down would have been great right there.
Oh, absolutely.
Carver with another punt. Fielded at the 29. And brought back all the way to the 25-yard line by Shaw. Viewers like you that help make great local programs like these high school football games possible in Georgia Public Broadcasting. To show your support, simply visit our website at www.gpb.org. It's totally secure, simple to use, and takes just 2 minutes. And thank you for supporting Georgia Public Broadcasting. Cam Greathouse under center. And Arsenio Williams is thrown for a big loss by the Tiger defense. That was Patrick Grant from his middle linebacker position. Look at him explode there, Bo.
Yeah, Patrick Grant is really something, and he's the kid, remember I said, was at the Shaw a year ago and has come over to this side along with a couple of other guys. So when we talked about this being a neighborhood battle, it is for sure.
It's interesting, too, because the two schools are just 10 miles apart. Greathouse to throw. And he looks under the middle. There's tight end. Penalty flag down. Figgins, the intended receiver, Bruce Figgins, but he may have been interfered with by Dominique Short. First time we've seen Shaw go to the tight end down the middle as we get the call. It'll be pass interference against the Tigers. That'll give the Raiders some more yards, 5 more yards. Not quite a first down. Be a 2nd and 1. And they're going to give him a first down.
You know, we were talking about Patrick Grant. As a 12-year-old, he was ranked by Nike as one of the best basketball players in the nation. And he is one heck of a basketball player today.
Yes, he is. And he's showing his football skills so far in his first quarter. Showed a little blitz there. Came back. And the give is to Gavin Scott trying the outside. And he is just leveled by Latavius Watts. He'll lose a couple.
Boy, Carver's been hitting hard. Watch this tackle. They're driving right through the man, right through the ball carrier. Watch this. Boom. Boom!
DeAndre Smith with the initial hit, and Latavius Watts finishing him off. Oh! You take a look at Latavius Watts. He had 2 interceptions in the first-round playoff game against Thompson, an 8-0 win by the Tigers. 2nd down and 10. They call no gain. Fake by Greathouse. Throws, picked off. Corby Eason, and Eason will take it to the 32-yard line, and finally a big play for the Tigers.
Bad throw because Corby Eason was just sitting down in the zone. Let's see if we can see it here, play action, and he throws it right to him, and he just squatted down. He was just playing zone, and a ball came right to him.
Corby Eason has 4 interceptions on the year. That was his 5th. And so the Tigers will take over on offense. First down and 10 at the 33. Wishbone look. And they'll give it to Jamon Fortson.
We'll be there for the quarterback keeper next time they see that formation because everybody just cascaded down inside.
Second down and 8 for the Tigers. Stay in that wishbone look. No wideouts. And Fur on a bootleg. And he'll be ridden down by Demetrius Jackson. Couldn't get to the outside. He may pick up a couple of yards.
Well, I think Coach McGee saw what I saw in that first down. Is that the quarterback was wide open the way they had collapsed on the fake, and he knew that the quarterback would be open, but I thought it would go really big, not just for 5 yards, but maybe Coach didn't wait long enough to do that, to come back to it.
But Demetrius Jackson showed his speed, be able to get out there and bring him down.
Yeah.
44 tackles on the year for Jackson. And on third down, they give us a Kyles, and Kyles lowers his shoulder for the first down, loses the football, but it's out of bounds. Ivan Shipp was there to lay down the law. It looks like he's got enough for a first down.
Needed that. Here you see it right here. Kyles, who's been their romper stomper, you can see that he's got the quicks. He doesn't have the pure straightaway speed that Arsenio Williams has, but he's got quicks. He's short, he's quick, he's got moves, got more moves than a bag of worms, and he's tough to bring down.
Low center to the gravity, strong legs, able to move a pile. We'll get the call again. Across the 20, the 15, inside the 10, brought down by Darnell Smith and Demetrius Jackson, and so the Tigers finally have something going offensively.
Well, that was a nice run, and see, here you'll see a little bit of the hook and juke that we're talking about. Bump, bump. You see he runs low to the ground, tough to bring down.
Kyle's 5'8", 175 pounds. The kid bench presses 305 pounds, Bo.
I know it. It's amazing at that size.
Out of the shotgun, it's Kyles, the big, strong running back, and he's brought down the line of scrimmage by the Shaw defensive, led by Brian Williams from his defensive lineman spot.
I imagine Coach McGee wants to power it in here, not risk putting the ball in the air. These points are too important to him being down 10-zip.
So you expect Mr. Kyles to get a lot of carries inside the 10?
I think so.
There's 3 wide outs. Out of shotgun is Darren Furr. He is going to throw. And he's looking for Fortson. And he's got a touchdown. Beautiful catch by Jamon Fortson. It was a low throw, but he was able to get down, get under it, and make the catch.
Fortson got his hands underneath it. It was a low throw, but it was a safe throw. And that's a smart quarterback that puts it away from on the other side of the defender where he can't get it, and only the receiver, only your guy can get it. Here you're going to see it right here. His little play fake. Looks, he's wide open and to the outside, low and away. Great catch, Fortson.
And that Shaw defense bought that fake because of Kyle's carrying the last 2 possessions. They're going to go for 2, which is their norm. And on the reverse, it's Malcolm Chen, and Chen will tack on 2 more.
Great blocking on the perimeter. Great blocking on the perimeter. They just sealed it. There was 3 men over there and couldn't get to him.
And that gets the Tiger fans cheering. They're finally making some noise as Malcolm Chen runs in the 2-point conversion to make it 10-8 Shaw. So, Bo, finally something positive happens for the Tigers.
Yeah, and that was a great run. Watch the left side of your screen now. This is the touchdown. Yeah, great throw, great route too. There was separation there.
And he threw it right where only Fortson could catch it. You should take a look at Malcolm Chen, who scored the 2-pointer. Jonathan Johnson will kick it off. Shaw fields it. Kyle Griswold, and Griswold just short of the 25-yard line. Here's a 2-pointer, Bo.
Now watch the left side of your screen. Here they're going for a 2-point conversion. Look at that block, just to seal that side, seal the perimeter, and it just waltzes in.
And there's a good look at Malcolm Chen. As you take a look at the scoring drive, 9-yard touchdown catch. Chen just a sophomore. So first down for the Raiders, and the give is to Scott, and Scott,
wow,
maybe a couple, and that's it. And DeAndre Smith was right there to make the tackle. I'm really impressed with this defense of Carver. We're gonna and we're at the end of the first quarter. It's been all Shaw, but Carver answered 10-8. Shaw as we start the second quarter here at the Georgia Dome, the Class 3A state semifinal. Cam Greathouse under center, and he'll give to Arsenio Williams, and Williams not much there either as he runs into the teeth of that Tiger defense.
Well, you get him in space, and he's sayonara with his speed. He really picks him up and puts him down. You know, I'll tell you what, this game lives up to the billing, I think, that we set up at the top of the show, and that is, this is for bragging rights. This is a neighborhood contest. This is us versus you in the same town. And that's why I think we're seeing the hitting that's going on down there.
Of course, Carver won the first meeting of the year 14-9. Shaw looking for revenge. There's Williams. Williams is in the clear, but he's brought down with a saving tackle by Dominique Short.
A touchdown saving tackle, caught him by the shoe tops, and just was able to hang on. Otherwise, he was gone.
That's the first time we've been able to see that big playability by Arsenio Williams, and watch him turn that corner. And then accelerate.
See, he thinks he's gone at that point.
Williams, a senior, over 1,000 yards rushing this year. And Greathouse pitches. That was Griswold. Not much there for him either.
If both of these teams had a screen in their offensive package, that would really work the way the defensive fronts are coming across the line of scrimmage. Get it outside, get a couple of blockers out there. I think that would be big in this game. And I'm sure they do, and we will see it, I'm sure, soon.
Right now, it's like a good heavyweight battle. Just kind of slugging at each other. That was a loss. So it's second down and 12. And Greathouse to throw, and he throws complete. Antonio Bailey with the catch. It'll pick up about 7 yards, bring up a third down and long.
Here you see it right here. Look at this strong arm that he's got. And Antonio Bailey catches it like the Falcons' Stacey Bailey. Just goes up and plucks it out of the air.
Bailey, a senior, had 20 catches on the year, averages 16.8 yards per catch, and caught 3 touchdowns in 2006. Third down. That's Griswold in motion, and they'll give it to Gavin Scott on third and long, and he gets maybe a yard. Jonathan Martin on the tackle for the Tigers.
As aggressive as both defenses are, I think a reverse would go big also.
Yeah, just something to break it up, because the Tigers are proving to me that it's tough to run against them down when you go up the middle. Jamon Fortson's back deep for Carver. Chandler Anderson also does the punting. Anderson averages 46 yards per kick. And he booms that one. Fortson will watch it roll past them and to the 9-yard line. That's where the Tigers will take over.
Great punt. That pins them.
And we're seeing the exact advantage of having a kicking game right now. Chandler Anderson, a field goal, and now a punt that pins them back inside the 10. Well, let's see if the Carver team will listen to your suggestions, Bo, and maybe open up the offense just a little bit.
I don't think right here, John, last time they were pinned, they were very, very conservative. They need to get about 5 or 10 yards in order for coach to think about throwing it or doing anything exotic.
And they'll give it to Morgan. And Jarquez Morgan, with 8-yard gain.
That's a great gain in this game. You know, we talked about Arsenio Williams averaging 10.1 yards per carry. Can you imagine?
A first down every time he gets the ball.
And everybody getting stuffed in this game except for that run.
Second down and 2. Stay in that shotgun. And they give it to Morgan again. Morgan will have the first down.
Coach McGee said if it worked once, it'll probably work twice. Somebody's slow getting up.
That'll be Chris Kiles, and they cannot afford to lose Kiles as he hobbles off the field.
His whole game is his legs, which is sounds crazy to say when you're talking about a running back, but he's a hook and juke guy, and he's got to have strong knees.
There's Morgan. It was Morgan that rolled up on him.
Yeah.
So on first down, not much there. Morgan carries it. Silvera on the tackle as they attend to Chris Kyles. You're mentioning about the power and strength of his legs. This is going to age me, but for some reason he reminds me, he looks a lot like Robert Newhouse when he played for the Cowboys back in the 70s. Just all legs.
All legs, not quite as thick as Robert Newhouse up top, but you're right, he's got those big thighs. Looks a little bit, runs a little bit like Emmett.
For the throw, it's complete. Just short of first down. That's Jamon Fortson on the catch. He'll be about a yard short of the first down. It'll bring up 3rd and 1.
John, both of these quarterbacks are impressive when they throw it. That's a little bit of a sidearm delivery, not classic, but both guys have zip on the ball and they seem to be accurate.
One thing Coach McGee also said about what's helping Duran Furr is the receivers. Very few drops from his receivers. We'll have 4 wideouts. Washington briefly in motion. It's a keeper for Furr. Lowers his shoulder, gets the first down. A pickup of 2.
That's enough for the first down. That was a great finish to that run. Look at the power going to the right side. It's a keeper. He knows he's got to get a yard. Lowers his head, powers through. Great job. That's what kids love about their quarterback, when the quarterback goes in there and takes those slobber knocker shots.
Well, Furr has 630 yards rushing this year. He averages 10 yards per carry. And they give us to Morgan, who's been a workhorse on this drive. Maybe a couple. Good gang tackling there by the defense of Shaw.
You can tell why these teams are in this game, because they're so well coached. It almost looked like that was offside. The timing of this play is such that everybody getting off the ball at the same time.
And now a wishbone look. And the pitch goes to Fortson. Fortson, maybe 3 yards. It's Brian Williams and the rest of the Raider gang in on the tackle. Bring up 3rd and 5. If you're just joining us, I'm John Wilkerson with Bo Box. Scott Kozlowski's patrolling the field. It's 10-8 Shaw in the Battle of Columbus.
Sounds like a movie.
And this would be part 2.
That's right.
Carver won the first meeting back in September, 14-9. Out of the wishbone again. Fortson's going to throw it. It's complete. And this may be gone. Jarvis Jones for the first touchdown of the day for the Tigers. Oh, what a call.
I was saying to myself, what a great time for some trichiotomy. But I didn't think he would, because it's been such a conservative game, such a power game. Nice throw. And Shaw really wasn't fooled.
No.
There were 2 men out there. They just missed the tackle. It was a perfectly thrown ball.
So Carver takes the lead. And will go for 2 again. To try to make this 16-10 Carver. And they've already scored more points in this game than they did in their first meeting.
Good point.
A throw again, knocked away by Carver. Brian Willis. So Carver team on the sidelines, scoring their second touchdown of the day. There's a look at the scoring dive as Jones makes the 58-yard touchdown reception. And really, Carver's offense is really starting to, they're getting some good field position, although they started that drive at the 9-yard line. And they're really starting to flex their muscle.
Once they got a little space and got a little, out of the shadow of their own goal line, they opened it up a little bit.
Jonathan Johnson to kick off. Fielded at the 10 by Brian Willis. He almost broke through, but gets to the 30 or 25-yard line. DeAndre Smith brings him down. And so with 4:22 to go until halftime, it'd be nice to see if Shaw can mount a drive together and get some momentum going into the locker room at the half.
Yeah, absolutely. They've got to get something going.
And at noon, the second 3A semifinal, Peach County and Washington County. And the give is to Arsenio Williams. And Williams will get 4 yards. Ellen Thomas on the tackle for the Tigers. Here are the rest of the lineup on the semifinal Friday. Dublin and Lovett in the 2A semifinal. That should be a dandy, as should this one. Northside and St. Pius in the 4A semifinal. And we wrap up the evening with Marist and East Paulding in the second 4A semifinal. That kicks off at 9 p.m. It is a long day here at the Dome, and we've got 5 more games on semifinal Saturday tomorrow. On second down, they give us to Gavin Scott, and Gavin Scott breaks it. Cross midfield, brought down at the 40, at the 35-yard line. A big play there for the Raiders as Dominique Short chased them down.
Watch this at the end now. Watch the defender. He's going to not allow him to cut back, and he's going to pin him on the sideline, and that's great defense. See that? If he overcommits, he's got that cut back to the middle of the field, and he's gone.
So finally, Scott breaks one. It's a 37-yard gain for Gavin Scott, the senior. Scored 9 touchdowns already this year. Runs a 4.5 40. So Shaw in good field position now, and Greathouse will keep it. Gets to the 30, lowers the shoulder on Dominique Short, and probably gets a couple more yards across the 30 to the 29-yard line.
We're seeing a lot of aspects of offensive football from both of these teams tonight. That was the option. In other words, if that was there, he would have given it to the fullback. Otherwise, he keeps it, and he comes outside.
So we're seeing a little option, a little power game.
We're seeing everything.
We're seeing the whole gamut of offense here.
For breakfast.
Going with your donuts and your coffee.
I hope that this is on in offices all over Georgia.
I bet it is. I can pretty much guarantee it is. Second down and 4. Arsenio Williams. Grant had him from behind, and finishing him off is DeAndre Smith. It's a 6-yard loss.
Well, Arsenio certainly is not going to live up to his average today. Carver's going to put a dent in that 10.1 yards per rush average.
But how about that pursuit by the Tiger defense?
Yeah, there's so much speed and quickness on both these teams.
Back up. It's a 3rd and 11 now for Shaw. Clock ticking, under 2 minutes to go until halftime. Out of shotgun is Cam Greathouse, the junior quarterback for the Shaw Raiders. And on the option, pass intended for Figgins, and it's intercepted by DeAndre Smith. Big play for the Tigers. Figgins had it in his hands, couldn't hold on to it, tipped it, and Smith makes the interception.
Well, Figgins, by the way, going to Georgia, he's a 6'3", 245 guy, tight end, defensive end.
Just couldn't secure it. And DeAndre Smith was there to take advantage. So the Tigers of Carver will have a chance to score before halftime with 1:28 to go until halftime. And a timeout called by the Tigers.
Coach wants to remind him to protect the ball down here. You know, you got the turnover. You stuffed them. Now it's time to go the other way, and we just got to churn it out. Nothing exotic from here.
Well, as you take a look at Del McGee, the second-year head coach of the Tigers, and you know, he really loves this 2006 edition of the Tigers, and he tells you about what's special about them.
Just the camaraderie and the family of our team makeup. Our seniors were very big in our season this year, and they've shown a lot of leadership, and just we're not supposed to be here according to all the critics, and they've just proven everyone wrong, and they just play with a lot of heart and determination.
The Carver Tigers were a team that played in 4A level last year, had a rough season, won 3 games, dropped down to 3A this year, which really they feel that's where they belong. They belong as a Class 3A school. And here they are in the Georgia Dome for the first time ever. And of course they're playing their neighborhood rival, as that was Morgan on the carry.
Royals, stay with him!
A couple yards and that's it. Juan Pickett on the tackle for the Raiders.
Well, I bet Shaw's got something to say about them wanting to be AAA, especially with a few players transferring to Carver from Shaw.
And of course, the most notable of the transfers is Patrick Grant, our middle linebacker, who so far is having a great game. What is it about the bright lights in the big cities that bring out the best in some of these players? And they give us to Morgan again. Morgan just short of the 25-yard line. Darnell Smith on the tackle, and another timeout called by the Tigers.
I got the backside over here.
So Del McGee will talk to his team one more time, as we're at 46 seconds to go in the first half. As you take a look at Craig Fitz in his first year here at Shaw High School with the Raiders. He spent 7 years as an assistant coach with the Raiders. And he wants to tell you what's special about this 2006 edition of the Shaw Raiders.
Special about this year's team is our seniors. We got a great set of seniors. They worked hard. They've made a commitment early on. With the change in the head coach, it made our seniors have to step up that much more, and we've hit some bumps along the way. But the boys have really pulled together and counted heavily on those seniors, and they've done a great job to step up and do that.
Both teams very senior dominated. As you take a look at the Shaw sideline, they actually called the timeout, not Carver, as I mentioned beforehand. If they want that ball back, they have a chance on 3rd down and 3. And they give it.
They got it.
To Fortson. And Fortson gets a couple of yards, and quickly a timeout called by Shaw.
I meant that Shaw has got it, not Carver. They want that ball back. They're going to get it back.
And one Carver Tiger slow in getting up. Chris Pimpkins, a backup running back. Fortson looks like he's hobbling a little bit too.
Let me ask you a question, John.
Yeah.
It's 4th and less than 1. You've only got 40 seconds remaining in this first half. Would you go for it?
Well, under normal circumstances, I'd say no. But I don't know. I mean, I would say yes.
Yeah, I don't think you can at this point. Not with this game so tight and not with the whole half to go. I think you got to get that ball out of there. And there's going to be a full tilt boogie rush on the punter. You better believe it.
Well, I mean, one thing Del McGee will tell you is that his kicking game is not very good, and they are going to go for it.
Wow.
I don't think he wants to give Shaw any kind of field position before halftime. so what a play by Silvera.
Whoa, baby.
Ben Silvera busted in there and made a huge play before the half.
I don't think you can do that. I think it has to be a quick hitter. You know, once you start bellying out, gives the defense, which we've seen is so quick from Shaw, a chance to make a play. Now they're in business with 35 seconds remaining in the half and on the 23-yard line.
You talk about a momentum shifter. They could go from being down at halftime to feeling real good about themselves going in the locker room. Now the shotgun is Cam Greathouse. He's got 3 receivers. Gavin Scott standing right next to him. And we got a flag. Not a good time for a penalty here.
No.
It's against the Raiders.
That ball. False start on offense.
That's a killer.
Can't have that.
We'll back him up 5 yards to
Can't have
the
that down there.
28-yard line.
The coach is disgusted at that. First time all day you get a penalty like that, and it's down here with the half running out.
Greathouse under center, or in the shotgun. Fakes the handoff, looking downfield.
Got him.
He's got Williams, touchdown, Arsenio Williams. And Shaw gets the lead back.
Great quarterbacking. Looking off the receiver, looking to the left side, had the receiver out there, but he knew he had Arsenio Williams breaking to the post. Watch him here. Watch him looking. Now he's got Arsenio. Great throw. Look at that. Great throw.
And Arsenio Williams with the touchdown. Anderson out for the extra point. It's bobbled by Greathouse. In trouble. Brought down at the 15-yard line by Kobe Eason and Jonathan Johnson. So they fail on the point after, but it's still 16-14 Shaw. As you take a look at Arsenio Williams, who caught that touchdown pass. They call him Money Man, and he was money in the bank there.
Well, 1,200 yards this year, 15 TDs. Make that 16 now. And a 10.1 yard per average rush.
And again, that beautiful throw by Greathouse right into the arms of Arsenio Williams, the senior.
And Arsenio needs a new jersey.
Here's Arsenio Williams, runs a 4.40. He had gained 184 yards and 2 touchdowns against Monroe in the second round. That was a 24-7 Shaw win. So he's capable of some big games. Fortson and Chin are back deep. Anderson kicks it. Fielded at the 5 by Fortson, and Fortson breaks
Look
it.
at this.
Fortson all the way to the 44, 43-yard line. Oh, what a huge run.
Yep, when he stumbled, John, that's what set up that run. That's what allowed the blocking to take place.
And so the Tigers, with 20 seconds to go, have good field position.
Watch this. He's going to stumble coming out. See that? Now the blocking takes place, and there's that hole you could drive a truck through. Makes a great cut there. And thought he might be gone, but had the great pursuit by Shaw.
And another flag. This happened to Shaw in the last possession. Get an opportunity in good field position and get
Dead
flagged.
ball. False start.
And another
on the
false start.
offense. Still first down.
Well, one for Shaw, now one for Carver.
Well, that's too bad because maybe you might have taken a shot at a home run ball. Now that makes it more difficult.
3 penalties for 21 yards for the Tigers. Only 1 penalty on Shaw. Now that was the legal procedure penalty in the last possession. The give is to Kyles, who's back in the game. He'll gain a few yards, stop the clock. Chris Kyles left at the beginning of the second quarter. hobbled off the field, but he looks like he's healthy. Timeout Carver. As Del McGee calls the troops over.
You can see on the bottom of your screen there's 14 seconds to go in the half.
Well, Furr is capable of throwing downfield. Now he takes some shots downfield before half, Bo?
I don't think from this point, unless you throw the home run ball, unless you throw it deep and it can't be returned, because they were burned this last trip trying to come out. It's Coach McGee, 5th round draft choice out of Auburn. Arizona Cardinals.
Played special teams for the Cardinals during the Vince Tobin era. Spent some time in NFL Europe. And I guess you could say he's a trivia question, winning the XFL championship. Second down and 13, and Furr in the shotgun. He's looking to go downfield, lofts it toward Chan, and it's knocked down by Demetrius Jackson.
Well, there was a home run ball. It got too much air under it. He wanted to throw that a little bit deeper, and I think it just got away from him.
That thing just floated up in the air.
Yeah, it did.
Jackson with the big hand knocks it down.
At that point, the receiver has to play defender and make sure it's not intercepted. If you can't get it and the receiver's between you and the defender's between you and the ball, you got to knock it away from him.
Perhaps the last play of the half. But there's penalty flags down.
Dead ball. False start on the offense. Still 3rd down.
That's the second one on this drive.
It's been mostly a penalty-free game until the last minute of the
Exactly.
Of the half.
I was just thinking the exact same thing. Perhaps the last play of the half. Furr flushed out. He's got Chin, but he throws it out of bounds.
Yeah, see, momentum is taking the ball out of bounds. You've got to make an adjustment for that.
And that's the end of the first half. Pretty even one at that. Shaw has the lead, 16-14, in the round 2 of the Battle of Columbus here at the Georgia Dome. Now let's go down to Scott Kalzowski on the field.
Shaw Coach Fitz, an entertaining first half. You're taking a 2-point lead into the locker room. What do you tell your kids at halftime?
We got to do a better job. We turned the ball over. We're not coming off the ball like we should, and they're whooping our butts up front. We got to come off the ball a lot better.
Yeah, you got off to a good start with the lead. They were able to come back. What else are you going to have to tell them as far as working defensively?
Defensively, we put our defense in bad position there with the interception, and we're going to have to control the ball. We're going to have to come off the ball a lot better and do a better job up front.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck.
Okay, Scott. Shaw leads it, 16-14. We'll hear from the bands after this. (16 to 14), the Shaw Raiders lead Carver. On the field right now is the Carver High School Marching Tigers. Band director is Hugh Moffitt. The drum majors are Christopher Williams and O'Shea Evans. 90 members to this band, putting on a good show. Let's give a listen to the Carver Marching Tigers.
For sure, number 20.
That's the Carver High School Marching Tigers. Let's hear from them as we throw down to Scott Kozlowski. Scott.
Thank you very much, John. I'm here with the band directors for both schools. From Carver, this is Hugh Moffitt, and from Shaw, this is Marcy Hankins. And Hugh, let me start with you and ask you, what kind of preparation do you have to put out to put on a halftime show like this?
Well, we do 3 hours a day, 3 days a week, which prepares for any game, not only here, but wherever we is in town.
Tell me a little bit about, you told me before the game that it takes a big staff to put this on. You wanted to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I have some great people that's working with me. Rizzo Manuel and Jeremy Smith. They help me with the drill, and I have Miss Annette Williams sponsoring the Tigerettes. Great stuff.
Thank you very much. Now, Marcy, quickly, tell me about what it means to play in the Dome.
It's always an honor. It's always an honor to come here and play in the Dome. This is the third time I've been, it's the second time for my seniors, and it's just like the first time every time.
Well, congratulations. We're right here in front of the band. It's pretty loud, you can probably hear. But tell me a little bit about what it means to play Carver here in the Dome. You played it once this year, and you were saying your kids were really excited about the rematch.
Yeah. Carver is a band that my kids just really enjoy going up against. We're very well evenly matched musically and entertainment-wise, I believe, and it's something that they've looked forward to. That's the one thing that they've been talking about since the playoffs started was, what if we get to go against Carver in the Dome? And here we are. So they were real excited about that.
You said your seniors, this is the second time they performed in the Dome. And, the season for the band lasts just as long as it does for the football players. And you started in July of this year?
Yes, sir. We started the second week of July with leadership, and then the rookies and the drum line and the color guard came in shortly after that. And then the full band came in after that. And we've been going 3 days a week. We've just cut back to 2 days a week when we started playoffs because we're also getting ready for concert season as well.
And your band's getting ready to perform now. So thank you very much for joining us. And John, back to you.
All right, thank you, Scott. We're going to hear from the Shaw Band. When we come back, their Raiders lead 16-14. Welcome back to the Georgia Dome. 16-14 Shaw leading Carver. On the field is the Shaw High School Band, Sound of Silver Marching Band they're known as. Marcy Hawkins is the band director. Jeffrey Edwards is the drum major. 70 members to the Sound of Silver Marching Band. Enjoy their performance. The sound of silver from the Shaw Marching Band. Hey, they sounded golden to me as they conclude their performance here at the Georgia Dome. Of course, they're happy. Their Raiders lead at halftime 16-14 in this 3A semifinal game. The first of 2 3A semifinal games, and this is the first of 5 football games today here at the Georgia Dome. In fact, we've got 10 coming at you this entire weekend. And Bo, here are the highlights, and let's start out with the field goal.
Yeah, here's Chandler Anderson of Shaw lining up to pop a 36-yarder, and that's good.
And then Malcolm Chan coughs up the football. First big play for the Raiders.
Then Kyle Griswold hauls this one in.
And then another big play finally for the Tigers as Corby Easton intercepts this Raider pass, and that would lead to a scoring drive.
Yeah, it leads to a Carver touchdown. Number 1, Jamie Fortson, making that nice low and away grab.
And then Malcolm Chin would add 2 points on this end around to make it 10-8. Shaw.
Watch Jarvis Jones, number 10. He's going to haul this in, break a tackle, and take it all the way.
Little trickery by the Tigers, but Shaw would answer before halftime. As you take a look at Jones, a happy man. They would answer before halftime. Cam Greathouse was on target to Arsenio Williams. It makes the score 16-14, the Shaw Raiders. And as we take a look at the stat sheet from this game, it's pretty even, although Carver does have the advantage in total yards.
I thought there'd be much more rushing yards in this game, John, because we've got some guys who can really go the distance.
And Scott with 8 rushes, 55 yards for the Raiders. Of course, Shaw a little bit on the time of possession advantage.
That's because of the turnovers down deep off kickoffs.
And Shaw with 2 turnovers. That kind of surprised me looking at that stat. Should be a great second half, round 2 of the Battle of Columbus. Shaw leading it so far at halftime 16-14, and we'll have the second half coming your way after this. (16-14), Shaw leading. Scott Kozlowski's on the field with Del McGee.
Thank you, John. Coach McGee, tell me how you assess the first half.
We had a couple of bad turnovers on our kickoff return that set us in the hole early. Good thing our defense held them to a field goal on that attempt, and we just had a blunder with 40 seconds left. We had a miscommunication problem, and that's when Shaw scored that touchdown pass. We just got to regroup and calm down and just go play football.
What did you tell your kids at halftime?
We've been here before. Don't worry, don't panic. Just play with poise and just have fun. Now, that first half jitter should be over with, and we should just go out and try to win the football game.
All right, best of luck in the second half, Coach. John, back to you.
Thank you, Scott. No panic there in the Tigers. They know that they're in a dogfight with their crosstown rivals from Columbus, the Shaw Raiders, and of course another second half of football to play here at the Georgia Dome. If you take a look at the Shaw Raiders getting ready to, as they have a 16-14 lead here at the Georgia Dome in the 3A semifinal. We got more coming at you today. Around noon, Peach County, Washington County will play in the other 3A semifinal. The winner of both these games go to the championship game. Undefeated Dublin takes on the Lovett Lions in the 2A semifinal. That'll kick off at around 3 o'clock today. And then in Class 4A, it's the Northside Eagles, unbeaten, 13-0. Taking on St. Pius. The Golden Lions are here at the Dome at 11-2. And then our nightcap at 9 p.m., the Class 4A semifinal. The Marist War Eagles take on the East Paulding Raiders. Both teams 12-1. And a spot in the 4A championship game is on the what's at stake in both those ball games. Oh, we've got a full day of football right here on Georgia Public Broadcasting. And what's the best part about it? We have another day of football tomorrow. 5 games, semifinal Saturday here at the Georgia Dome tomorrow. And it all kicks off with the 3 single-A games, followed by 5A, followed by the 2A semifinal, and then the 2 5A semifinals tomorrow at the Georgia Dome. So, Bo, what do you expect to see in the second half?
Well, I think I expect to see what I expected to see before the first half and didn't get to see it, and that is somebody taking off like an Arsenio Williams, like a Chris Kyles, and going the distance, just picking them up and putting them down. I think we're going to see much more of a wide-open game in the second half. I thought that first half, the coaches came out, were very conservative, knowing the importance of this victory, and I think this half, we open it up, we're going to see some big runs.
Shaw will get the ball first as Jonathan Johnson will kick off for Carver. Antonio Bailey is back deep for the Raiders. And I'm looking forward to both offenses opening up as well. As the kick is recovered by Griswold. And Griswold to the 30, just short of the 30, upended by Carver. And so Shaw will take over at their own 29-yard line. And Cam Greathouse will come back out for the Raiders. Pretty good first half. 3 of 6, 2 touchdown passes, 2 interceptions, however. And Greathouse, just a junior. What's interesting about him is he converted from a running back to quarterback in 8th grade at the recommendation of his middle school coach. And it's been a good recommendation. He's been a pretty good quarterback for this Raider team.
Yeah, nice arm.
And he'll pitch to Arsenio Williams, and Williams will lose a couple. There's that Tiger defense again. Dominic Short leading the way, along with Taiwan Jones.
Well, it was a great play by Carver. Watch this. They're going to take out the lead blocker. See, there's the lead blocker, and he's taken out by an unrushing Carver lineman.
So the Tiger defense picks up where it's left off, swarming, and boy, it's been tough to run against that group.
Sure, you know, and if you have football for breakfast, you want to have some offense.
That would be nice. A little spice to your breakfast on second down and long, and a great spin move there by Griswold, and he'll get across the 30 to about the 32-yard line. Kobe Easton and Jonathan Johnson there on the tackle.
Can't teach that. That's just God-given ability. That's natural instincts, and for somebody to be able to do that, he reminds me of myself.
About 40 years ago?
Just last week.
Just last week?
Yeah.
I don't see the crutches. On third down and 8. Greathouse will give to Griswold again. He breaks it. Gets the first down. He had to get it to the 39 for the first down, and we got well past that, out to the 43-yard line, and so Shaw is in business.
Well, I want to see this highlight again if I could, because I saw a Carver defensive lineman pushing down when he really was in space. Watch this. There was a lineman pushing down on the pile and left that wide open gap.
First down for the Raiders. They lead by 2. Greathouse drops back. Looking to throw. Complete to Griswold. Another first down out to the 42-yard line of the Tigers. And so it looks like Shaw's opening up things.
John, that was a big-time throw and catch. I mean, he had to throw that over the linebacker and just loop it in. Watch this. And look at the accuracy. And a great catch at the end.
You're talking about Greathouse's throwing abilities. He's also a pretty darn good baseball player for Shaw. He batted over 300 last year.
Yeah, all those quarterbacks. You ever seen one that wasn't a good baseball player?
That play goes nowhere.
I think it was a broken play. There was something wrong with that play.
Griswold will lose 3 yards.
Either that or it was an option, and Griswold the quarterback made a bad decision.
That was actually Gavin Scott, the senior running back, that carried the ball. And so it'll end up a second down and 13 situation. Take a look at the Carver quarterback. Devon third. Second down and long. Greathouse. Here comes the rush, gets it away, intended for his tight end Figgins, intercepted by Victor Williams, and Shaw comes up with a big play defensively.
And that was really created by Jonathan Johnson. who put the pressure on the quarterback, and the quarterback had to hurry the throw, and Jonathan Johnson came around the corner. See if you can see him here. He's going to commit, boom, right there. And the quarterback could feel his presence and knew he was coming full steam ahead and rushed the throw.
That's the second time in this game Bruce Figgins has bobbled a pass and has led to an interception.
And I mentioned earlier he's committed to Georgia. He's a tight end and the defensive end.
So here come the Carver Tigers on first down, and the give is to the I-back. That's Chris Kiles, and Kiles gets across the 50. He'll be about 2 yards short of the first down.
Starting to open up a little bit now. You know, not as bunched up as we were in the first half. Guys are starting to pick up some yards on the ground.
You just kind of feel the energy starting to pick up here in the Georgia Dome.
Yeah.
The first half, it was just kind of a dead atmosphere in here, but all of a sudden,
well, you know, the question was,
up.
What's it like to play at 9 o'clock? Well, what's it like to root at 9 o'clock?
Kiles is met at the line of scrimmage and then thrown down. Demetrius Jackson on the tackle.
That's what we saw in the first half.
Jeremiah
Every play
Golson
seemed to be that. Coming across the line of scrimmage.
That was Jeremiah Golson.
Boom. I've seen better tackling in this game than I've seen in any game in a long time. And you know why? Because in college and in the pros, you don't practice tackling at all. In college, it's limited. And in high school is the only place where you really work on technique.
And get the fundamentals down and hope that stays with you as you progress through college and maybe the NFL. As on third down, and the give is to Jarquez Morgan and the sophomore.
I think he's got it, John.
Looks like he's got the first down. He's right at the 46. Had to get to the 46 for the first down, and it is first down Tigers.
Carver's got to put something together here because Shaw looks like they really took control of the second half when they came out and marched down the field. So I think Carver's got to respond, got to run some clock and make some yards and find a way to get the ball in the end zone. They trail 16-14.
It's a first down. Out of the shotgun is Deron Firm. And he'll give to Chris Pimpkins and the senior. That was Chris Kiles, I'm sorry, on the carry. A couple of yards by Kiles.
Well, remember we talked about how lickety-split quick he was and how he had great feet. Well, that's as good a 3-yard run as you're going to see because it was stuffed to the outside. He came back inside, found a crack, and made the most of it.
Sometimes that's all you need. It's just 3 yards, give you some breathing room.
Yeah.
Set up a good second down play out of the shotgun. Eric Washington in motion. Not much there by Chris Kiles. Maybe a yard at the most. Brought down by a host of Shaw Raiders.
They need to find a way to get him the ball in space so he can use those hips and those knees and those thighs and those calves and that great footwork that he's got to juke and make somebody miss.
Kiles will check out of the game. They still feel the effects of that coming out of the game at in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
Third down and 6. Carver will use their timeout.
I don't think they liked their alignment. I think they wanted to go to something else.
All right, we're going to take a break here in the third quarter. 16-14 Shaw.
Funding for this program is provided by the Georgia High School Association. The GHSA would like to thank Verizon Wireless for the outstanding support of high school sports programming on GPB.
Hello, I'm Ralph Swearingen. More than 163,000 Georgia students compete in high school sports, and nearly 84,000 participate in GHSA non-athletic competition. These sports and activities enrich educational experiences. On behalf of Verizon Wireless and the GHSA, thank you for your support.
We're in the third quarter of our first game of the day. Carver trailing Shaw 16-14 here at the Georgia Dome. The first of 5 football games on semifinal Friday right here on Georgia Public Broadcasting. It's a third and long situation for the Shaw, or for the Carver Tigers. And on the carry is Malcolm Chin, and Chin tries to run outside, gets a couple of yards, maybe 3 at the most. He'll bring up 4th down.
Shaw did a pretty good job of stringing that out. It looked like it had a chance to maybe find a crack and go, but Shaw did an excellent job on the perimeter.
And so does the Tigers punt here? Because I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I still see Devon Furr out there. So on 4th and 2, they're going to go for it.
Maybe coach doesn't like the way Shaw has been moving the ball. Thinks he's going to need points right here.
Furr the keeper. He's got the first down. He's still going. Across the 35 to the 33-yard line. So Anton Grappenried on the tackle. So let your playmaker keep the ball and make a first down.
Good blocking up front. And the way Shaw has been coming across the line of scrimmage and making things happen, making tackles, forcing the issue, to make that call took a lot of moxie.
Well, I tell you, that is one tough kid. Look at him just lower the shoulder and get into the defensive line of Shaw. I mean, that quarterback's fearless.
Yeah. Well, every kid on that field down there, I mean, I've seen everybody put it on the line. Some of the hits that we've seen.
Morgan, 3 yards, and that's about it. Running on the left side of his line, or the right side of his line. Take a look at Jarquez Morgan. He's just a sophomore. 535 yards on the year, 7 touchdowns, and he had 7.9 yards per carry.
I think Doug McGee told his guys, let's just mash them. Let's use clock. Let's go down. Let's score. And let's just mash them. Because that's the play calling we're seeing right here.
Hope it leads to 6. Get out that wishbone look. It's Fortson, and Fortson gets to the 30, and then he's brought down there by the Shaw defense. Brandon Shannon in on the tackle.
See what I mean? Going to that wishbone set. Just challenging his guys to open holes. Now we're going to get about a 3rd and 6. And then, of course, he'll go for it again on 4th down if they don't get it here.
Tell you what, it's been a while since I've seen the wishbone run. I know they run it quite a bit in high school. Still, out of the shotgun. He's going to keep it. And Furr shed the tackle. He'll be close to the first down.
I think he got it.
He may have gotten it.
Great
Ivan
run.
Ship on the tackle. Again, we're seeing the toughness of Duran Furr.
Picked it up. First down. They spread the field. It looked like they were going to throw on 3rd and 6. And then he just gets outside, makes a great cut, stays in bounds, and slices it upfield.
Coach McGee talked about Duran Furr and how he thrives in pressure situations. And we're seeing that right here. He's seeing the opportunities, and he's taking advantage of them. And another timeout this time by Shaw. So both teams will have 2 timeouts here in the second half.
Yeah, they've got to find a way. They can't let him march it down the field and just go in and score.
Got it. Well, this game can be viewed live on the GPB internet site around the world at www.gpb.org. Just follow the links to connect to the game. Every game will be archived and available later on the GPB website as well. That's www.gpb.org. So no matter where you are around the world, you can view us on your laptop or on your PC and enjoy the action as we have 5 football games. This is the first of them here today on Georgia Public Broadcasting. We've got 5 tomorrow. It's 10 games of high school football, bro.
Do you mean somebody might be listening to me in Stuttgart?
Yeah.
Wow. Look at that cut.
It's close to a first down by Chris Kiles.
Watch this cutback. There it is, sees the hole and then explodes. We've been talking about his feet, and you see how he's got that Emmitt Smith ability.
Well, Coach McGee says he reminds him a lot of Emmitt Smith. Not fast, but fast enough just to avoid the tacklers, and we get a flag.
A kid, when he gets to that level, won't be drafted high, but will just win you championships.
Yeah.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense.
Well,
That'll
knock him
look
back
at Coach
5.
McGee. Look at his face. Makes you crazy when you're down here. You've got it rolling, and you're on the verge, and then you get a false start. And we saw it at the end of the first half. Kids under pressure a little bit.
And they'll back him up to the 19 and bring up a 2nd and 6. So that changes probably the approach on this play. Out of the eye. Kyle's in the back of the eye. Now in motion. They'll give it to the first back through. And maybe a couple of yards. Jarquez Morgan. He's had a lot of carries on a big day today.
Mm-hmm. You know what's really set up here for John is some play action. A little play action, a little toss over the top.
It'll be a 3rd and 5 for the Tigers. I'm sure that might be what Coach McGee's thinking right here, because we've had some success with the pass today. Jarquez Morgan's numbers of the day. The 32 hard yards he's gotten today, as Kyles gets maybe 2 yards, and that's it. And Ben Silvera, how many times have we called his name today, making another play on defense for the Shaw Raiders. So 4th down.
4th and about 6. 4th and 5.
I'm willing to bet they're going to go for it here. They are going to go for it. That's Kyle's in motion. And for the throw to the end zone. Incomplete. Intended for Jamon Fortson. Brian Willis broke up the pass, and the Raiders will take over on downs.
Forced it, and I thought there was a possibility of him running for it. But he had it in his mind he was going to unload it. And this receiver was covered, but it was space outside, and I thought maybe he could have run for it.
So Willis makes the play, and Del McGee's long offensive possession comes up empty. And so Shaw will take over with under 2 in the 3rd quarter. Shaw up by 2. Cam Greathouse. He'll pitch it back to Griswold. Griswold gets to the 20 and brought down there by Jonathan Johnson. And so Shaw still looking to run outside, and Griswold has still down.
See, I thought both of these teams, because of the aggressive nature of the defense, would benefit from the toss sweep. You see a nice little gain there, about 5 yards. But watch this toss sweep here. Here it comes. Got a lead blocker out there.
That's Gavin Scott as your lead blocker.
And he's caught from behind.
Well, at the beginning of the game, Shaw was not having any success running up the middle. When they've coming out of the second half, they've mixed things up with the pass, a couple sweeps. This is Arsenio Williams, met by Patrick Grant, and he'll lose 2 yards.
That's what you were talking about in the first half.
Well, when you got big Patrick Grant in there, who's obviously has shown us that he can handle his own. Again, you're talking about good fundamental tackling, and that was a great example right there.
You know, this is Patrick Grant's second game in the Dome in 2 years.
Yeah, he was here last year wearing the silver and black.
He was with Shaw.
Yeah.
That's the only difference.
Transferred in. He's one of a few transfers that came over from Carver to Carver. And now this Tiger program is on the move. And the give is to Williams, and Arsenio Williams again, a short gain. He'll bring up 4th down. As we end the third quarter of play here at the Georgia Dome, no score. Your two coaches, Del McGee and the Shaw head coach, Brian Fitz, and we have a penalty flag. I didn't see what happened there, but looks like a false start.
Prior to the snap, we have encroachment on the defense. That'll be a 1st down.
What a huge break for Shaw.
Holy
As
cow.
you take a look at Del McGee and Craig Fitz is ecstatic right now. He's got another shot on offense.
Holy cow. To begin the 4th quarter and have a mistake like that just takes your heart out.
And so Cam Greathouse, with his team up by 2, gets a gift. And the junior quarterback trying to lead his Raiders to the state title. Or to a state title opportunity. Oh, what a hit by Patrick Grant. But the gift, Greathouse kept it. Loses the football. And Carver comes up with the turnover.
They'll be talking about this game in Columbus for the next 50 years.
Yes, they will. I'll tell you, I heard the plastic pop, and I saw Grant just lay somebody out right there.
Did, yeah. Great ball faking. Whoa, gosh, he got it behind him. Tried to carry it on his back like a knapsack.
Well, that's a huge break for the Tigers after they just gave up a 1st down to Shaw on a penalty. And so here come the Tigers of Carver, 1st and 10. And the give is to Kyles, and Kyles, he loses the football.
Holy mackerel.
And Shaw has it. That's the player indication.
There's a fumble on the play, recovered by the defense. 1st down.
Now what a strange circumstances we just had there. Last 3 plays.
Also, why didn't the referee just, give the other direction sign?
I don't know. Left us hanging. So Shaw gets the ball back. If they're going to be talking about this game for 50 years, I just think we saw the play they're going to be talking about.
Well,
a series of plays.
We said it was going to be a backyard brawl between two teams that know each other.
And we're in crunch time now. It's not bragging rights. It's a chance for a state title. As Greathouse, he'll give to his first back through. That's Gavin Scott, and the senior is up to about the 39-yard line. He's 2nd and short for the Raiders.
Carver doesn't win this game, they'll never forget those last 2 plays to begin the 4th quarter.
You can see the frustration on Del McGee's face. They had a golden opportunity, and they turned the ball over. 1 back. Greathouse under center. He'll keep it. Greathouse spins, gets the 1st down and a lot more across the 45 to the 46, brought down by Dominique Short. Looked like that time not only were they trying to tackle Cam Greathouse, but it looked like they're trying to strip the ball away from him too.
I've never seen a quarterback run harder than these 2 guys. Both the Carver quarterback and the Shaw quarterback really know how to put their head down and drive.
Think they wear the red jersey in practice?
I don't. It doesn't look like it.
1st and 10. And the give is to Gavin Scott. Scott loses a yard on the play. Taiwan Jones and Alan Thomas.
All afternoon, the Carver defense has swarmed to the ball, or rather all morning. I should have said, the first quarter was for breakfast. Now it's getting to be brunch time.
When this game is over, it'll be time for lunch. And Shaw's content on running clock right now. Up 16-14. And they could use some more points on the board. And on the end around, it's Griswold. And Griswold with a nice cut, just a couple of yards short of the first down. Alan Thomas trips him up.
There were more defenders out there than there were blockers, so it was up to the running back to pick his spot, and he does. And watch this cut. He's got some lead blockers, but there's 3 defenders out there against 2 blockers, and he made a great cut.
3rd down and 1 for the Shaw Raiders. Take a good look. Kyle Griswold is just a sophomore. He's got a 3.62 grade point average.
He looks thick, too. He looks like a strong running back.
He's still got some growing to do as well. And a first down by Gavin Scott. As Scott picks up 4 yards, had to get across the 44, did so, gets to the 42, and so Shaw keeps the drive alive.
As we get deeper into the game and into this 4th quarter, the Shaw offensive line appears to be stronger than they were earlier.
They're wearing down that Carver defensive line.
I don't know. Every time we think that, these guys come alive with a big play.
Yeah,
come across the line of scrimmage and just stuff somebody.
Win or lose, I've been very impressed with this Tiger defense. Now the I formation. Greathouse gives to his fullback. Couple yards picked up by Gavin Scott. Scott senior. Alan Thomas on the tackle. He's a smart kid as well, Gavin Scott. Carries a 3.14 grade point average.
The only thrill I haven't had this morning is seeing Kyles or Arsenio Williams in space.
And actually breaking a big one.
Because it's fun to watch them run. 2 different styles, but both very successful.
2nd down and 5. That's Griswold in motion. And not much there. Boy, that Carver defense wrapping up Gavin Scott. Taiwan Thomas, Jonathan Johnson all involved. Patrick Grant got in there. Don't want to run up the middle on these guys.
No.
Taiwan Johnson with Jones on the tackle. 94 tackles for the senior. 5'9", 270. Taiwan Jones. And Shaw will call timeout. 7:33 to go in the game.
It's timeout. Black.
Craig Fitz there talking to his quarterback Cam Greathouse. It's been a game plan that has worked between those two today as they're up by 2, 16-14. Let's hear Craig Fitz. He's going to tell you what he likes about coaching the Shaw football team.
I like being with the kids. Like I said, we have a great set of seniors, and just seeing how they've come along and done a great job. And it goes down the line. We have good juniors and sophomores and freshmen, and seeing kids grow and develop is the best thing about coaching. And we got a great set of assistant coaches that have done a tremendous job this year, and being with those guys and coming together, it's been a great experience.
Craig Fitz in his first year as head coach of the Shaw Raiders. It's been 7 years as an assistant. And his quarterback, Cam Greathouse, running away from trouble, lowers the shoulder, picks up a couple of yards, and that's it. Brought down by DeAndre Smith.
No, he didn't make the first down, but after that timeout, I like that call. It's just that they left somebody on the right side of the Carver defensive line unblocked. And then the corner comes up and makes a play.
Alan Thomas delivered a shot on him right there on the sideline.
4th down.
4th down, and the Raiders will go for it. And they're imploring the Raider fans to make some noise. They're trying to draw them offside, and they'll burn their last time out.
Well-coached team, as is Carver. We're seeing 2 really tuned-up teams this morning.
Kind of clever by the offensive line and the rest of the team to get the crowd to make some noise, to help out. As you take a look at the Shaw Band, entertaining the masses during this timeout. Well, I tell you, Bo, this has turned into a good physical matchup between 2 teams, 2 schools that are 10 miles apart, who know each other well, and it's more than bragging rights out here today.
Yeah, many of them hang out together, obviously, and especially when you have those transfers with guys coming from Shaw, like Patrick Grant to Carver. I mean, that, you know, it all adds up to having to win this game, really needing to win this game. They're going to punt and try to pin them, John.
Meanwhile, Carver's got nobody back, and they bring the house and try to block it. Now they're going to settle back. There's Anderson. A little pooch punt. Well, it lands at the 13 and directly goes out of bounds, and they'll mark it at the 14-yard line. That's where the Tigers will take over.
Well, better than starting at the 20.
Now, you mentioned along the lines of this neighborhood rivalry, both coaches, Del McGee and Craig Fitz, and we'll tell you about that a little later, but we want to hear about Del McGee and what he likes about coaching this Tiger team.
Well, the biggest thing I like is just to see our kids come back and know that they're productive citizens and know that we've influenced their lives in a positive way, and we have the kids more than the parents do, and we're molding young men into being productive citizens.
And the give is to Chris Kiles, and Kiles gets across the 20 to the 21-yard line, brought down by the Shaw defense, led by Jeremiah Golson and Ivan Ship. And as you take a look at Del McGee there, one thing I wanted to point out, we talked about this neighborhood rivalry. Both Coach McGee and Coach Fitz, they cheer for each other. Of course, it's a little different situation this morning, but there's a lot of respect between the 2 teams and the 2 schools. On 2nd down, not much there for Malcolm Chin. Chin still fighting and thrown back. And he'll bring up 3rd and 4.
There's been one benchmark to this game. It's been the intensity from both sides.
And we've seen that on the defensive end of the ball with both teams. Carver hoping that this drive will be the one that takes them to the state title game.
Down 2. How's their field goal kicker, John?
Well, he did win a game with his leg. Jonathan Johnson did kick a field goal.
That's right.
In the 2nd round of the playoffs to beat Jackson. It was a 25-yarder. They've got him in the arsenal. But here's Chris Kiles, and Kiles fighting for every yard. He may have a 1st down as he gets just short of the 25-yard line. They may mark him there. He had to get to the 24 for the 1st, and they got a 1st down.
Wow. You know, I was just thinking, we haven't seen the big run for him to show off for everybody what we've been talking about. But watch this. Watch his footwork in traffic. Watch the cuts in traffic. Look at the intensity. Keeps the legs moving, and he picked up that 1st down by about 1 yard, half a yard.
Oh, he's not going to be denied. We're in the 4th quarter. 5 minutes to go. State title on the line. And complete in and out of the hands of Eric Washington. Oh, that could have been a big one, Bo.
That would have gone, you know, not the distance. There was a man to the left and a defender to the right. And that ball was drilled.
Bring up a 2nd down and 10. Washington, a senior. 3 touchdown catches on the year.
Here it is here. Oh, boy. Right in the face mask.
Penalty flag on the field. Looks as if Carver might have moved early.
Prior to the snap, false start on offense. Repeat, second down.
Did you see Coach McGee just peek at the clock there? Now it becomes crucial.
Yeah, he's starting to feel the pressure as we wind down in the fourth quarter in this Class 3A semifinal game.
Look at those guys sitting on pins and needles. Come on, somebody make a play, they're saying.
Carver won the first meeting this year back in September, 14-9. Shaw leading 16-14. Revenge means a shot at the state title. Furr on the keeper. He's been tough all day. He'll get 5 tough yards there. And he'll bring up third down.
I thought early in the game, let's watch this play first. He's trying to pick a spot, trying to see where he can make some magic happen. But I thought early in the game that it was the Carver defense that was dictating. But you know, this Shaw defense has been absolutely excellent all morning.
21 yards rushing on the day for Duron Furr in his quarterback position. On the shotgun, looking throw.
There it is.
And it's incomplete. And out of the hands of Washington again. There's a flag on the field. So hold on. That was Demetrius Jackson with the hit. This is a big penalty for either school.
We got an ineligible downfield on the offense. That penalty's declined. Fourth down.
Well, you can see the frustration starting to build in Del McGee's face.
A couple of great throws. Great route. He just has to finish it.
And so on fourth down, Fortson's going to punt the ball. And a good kick by Fortson, fielded by Brian Willis. And Willis trying to break it, knocked down at the 45-yard line. And I tell you, Bo, the hitting is starting to get even more intense as we come to the end of this game.
Oh, you know it. These guys, they want to go home with the trophy to their neighborhood. Now you're going to see Shaw just try to mash the ball, and and Carver's going to find a way, got to find a way to knock the ball out of there, to strip the ball carrier.
First down and 10 for the Raiders. Cam Grayhouse under center. He's had an excellent morning at the Georgia Dome in the semifinal. Oh, what a hit. Right at the line of scrimmage. Patrick Grant. Oh, my, what a game he's had. Knocking back Gavin Scott.
They were teammates a year ago, slapping each other on the helmet. Listen to this. Oh!
Imagine he has a headache after that one.
Oh.
That is some plastic popping.
And then they get up and tapped each other on the helmet.
The give is to Griswold, and Griswold maybe 5 yards. Keeps the clock running.
That's a big run under the circumstances, the way Carver has been stuffing everything. We got third and short.
Griswold with 34 yards rushing today. Big third down play here for the Raiders. Clock running, the 3:30 mark. Carver, well, they want to get a big third down stop, get the ball back, and hopefully for the Tiger fans drive for a chance at a state championship. That was Grayhouse on the keeper. Jonathan Johnson and Taiwan Jones on the stop. He's going to be short of the first down.
Did you see Patrick Grant come up and talk with his nose tackle? and he was whispering in his ear, telling him which side to go, and then he was going to go the other side. As it ended up, it was the next cut.
He probably did that in practice when he played at Shaw.
Sure.
They're going to come measure. Shaw had to get to the 44-yard line, 46-yard line for a first down. When they marked, it's short. Boy.
10 inches.
Wow. Well, you've got a good punter in your arsenal, but I see Cam Greathouse still out there. But I guess when it's your neighborhood rival, you don't want to punt the ball.
Well, when the other team has so many weapons, and they beat you earlier in the year, you've got to say, guys, there comes a time when you have to win the game, and you have to knock down the guy in front of you, and this is the time.
The Shaw fans are up. The Carver fans are up. Both are making noise.
That's an official timeout.
And an official timeout. Looks like to repair the chains.
They've got to reset the chains weren't set.
And I'm sure most of the people in Muskogee County are up here in Atlanta enjoying the morning of football. Cam Greathouse, been an excellent leader for this team today, the junior quarterback.
Carver stacked up in the middle. Trying to draw him off sides again.
And so delay a game call.
Delay a game.
Chandler Anderson will come out to kick it.
On offense. Still fourth down.
Well, Anderson's an excellent punter. He averages 46 yards per kick.
Coach Fritz is going to leave it up to his defense. Guys, you got to play defense for 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Jamon Fortson back deep. Oh, that was close. Fortson will watch it bounce at the 15. It'll be fielded at the 16.
It was a great punt, John. Talk about hang time.
And so here's Carver's opportunity now with 2:21 to go in the game for a drive to a state championship game and continue Columbus bragging rights. They won back in September 14-9. Del McGee with his quarterback, Deron Furr.
Well, Coach McGee is telling Carver what I thought Coach Fitz told Shaw. There comes a time.
And this is the
you've got
time.
To grind it out. We've got to beat somebody. You've got to refuse to lose.
Carver's been a great story this year. Coming to the Georgia Dome for the first time. And Furr looking to throw and now keep it. Oh, he's still going and knocked down at the 17 at the 18-yard line by Brian Williams.
Just excellent coverage in the secondary. There was nobody open.
Clock running as we come to the 2-minute mark. Hurry up offense. And the pass is complete to Fortson, the 30. Driven back, but they'll mark him at the 31-yard line. First down, they'll stop the clock. So Carver picking up the pace here. A minute 49 to go.
Furr, the quarterback, can really zip it, can he?
Yes, he can. Got a great arm. Furr looking toward Washington, nothing there. Slips the tackle. And then he can't escape the grasp of Darnell Smith. He'll lose 3 yards. He'll bring up second down, but most importantly, the clock's still running.
Jonathan Baker, a wide receiver for Carver, had slipped down the sideline when the cornerback came up, and he thought the quarterback.
White. That's their second timeout.
Thought the quarterback was going to run. He came up and let Baker go. Unfortunately, the pressure was such unfair that he couldn't load up.
Carver burns their second timeout. They have got one still available to them as we take a look at what has transpired today here at the Georgia Dome. Anderson with the 26-yard field goal. That got the scoring started 3-0. And then Cam Greathouse, touchdown pass there. That made it 10-0. And then here's a touchdown pass from Duran Furr to Jamon Fortson. Great catch there. Makes it 10-8. And then Fortson with the pass. A little trickery there to Jarvis Jones. Makes it 14-10. And then our last touchdown so far this game. Great catch by Arsenio Williams. Makes it 16-14 Shaw. And that's still our score as we're late in the fourth quarter. And Duran Furr back to throw. He's throwing deep. Incomplete. Flag down.
It's going to be offensive pass interference.
That's intended for Jarvis Jones. Anton Grappenried on the coverage. There were a lot of pushing and shoving going on between the two.
Well, great job by the corner because he got in front of the receiver, and the receiver pushed him down.
Pass interference on the defense.
Oh!
First down.
Called it on the defense.
What was I looking at?
Same thing Craig Fitz was looking at because he's not happy about it.
Let's watch. We'll be down the left sideline. See, the corner was in front of him. I don't know how it was pass interference on the corner.
They both have the right to the ball. Flag down again. The way the Shaw players are reacting, this might be against the Tigers.
Prior to the snap, false start on offense. Still first down.
So with 1:20 to go, and Carver is backed up 5 yards. The intensity level has reached 9.5, 10 here at the Dome between these two neighborhood rivals. Furr, big rush, and he brought down. Brought down by Roderick Winston and Bruce Figgins.
Look at this short defensive front at crunch time.
And the clock's still running as we hit the 1 minute mark.
And at this point right here, he's got a man open in the middle of the field. And once again, has no time to even cock his arm.
Not a good time to take a sack there. Second and long, 21 yards to be exact. And another whistle and another flag.
Pass to the snap. False start.
Ooh.
On offense.
Well, you hate to say that the pressure's now starting to get to Carver. That's the second false start penalty on this drive.
See Coach McGee over there trying to keep his wits about him, trying to settle down the kids. You know, if you look frantic, they're going to make more mistakes.
Furr, here comes the rush. Incomplete. Intended for Chris Kiles. But Roderick Winston was coming in unblocked. 3rd and 26. And the fans on the Carver side starting to worry.
Getting to Hail Mary time.
Well, this is high school football. I've seen several things happen in this situation. 35 seconds to go in this one. And Furr. Here comes Winston again. Way out. Incomplete. Intended for Malcolm Chin. Boy, a couple of steps and Chin might have had that.
Yeah. See the strength of Furr's arm. And it was a great route because he had separation. Just a little bit overthrown.
So here's your ball game. Carver needs 26 yards for a first down. And look at the Shaw players.
We're in prevent.
30 yards, 20, 25 yards back.
Only 3 men on the line of scrimmage.
Third being rushed by Winston again. Gets away, lets it fly. He's got a receiver. Oh, he dropped it. Eric Washington was wide open. He had a first down but couldn't hold on. And Shaw is celebrating. Had it right there, Bo.
Yeah. Poor kid. Your heart goes out to him.
And so all the Shaw Raiders have to do is take a knee, and they move on to the 3A state championship game. Boy, what a tough, grinding football game this has been.
It really was. It really came as billed. You know, backyard Donnybrook, neighborhood brawl.
And look at Craig Fitz in his first year as head coach of Shaw, and he's going to take his team to the state championship game.
You know, if this is the football we got for breakfast, can you imagine what lunch and dinner is going to be like?
Oh, it's going to be good. It's going to be real good. This is the first of 5 football games today here on Georgia Public Broadcasting. We've got the second 3A state semifinal coming up between Peach County and Washington. Jim Ginocchio and DJ Jones are standing by. We'll bring you that one. As Cam Greathouse takes a knee, and the Shaw Raiders will win round 2 of the Battle of Columbus, and Craig Fitz takes a shower. Oh, that's great. It's a Raider celebration on the field. Heartbreak for Carver, but what a year they had. And these 2 old neighbors getting back together. Showing great sportsmanship there. The 2 combatants right there. Del McGee, Craig Fitz. They have tremendous respect for one another. They cheer for each other. Of course, today a little different circumstances, but there's tremendous support for both schools, not only in the Muskogee County, but in Columbus, but the respect the 2 teams have for each other.
Guys shaking hands saying, what are you going to do tomorrow night?
All right, Shaw wins this one 16-14. They're going to the state title game. We're going to take a break. Right now, let's go down to Scott Kozlowski. He has Craig Fitz.
Coach, congratulations. How does it feel to be going to the state championship game?
I don't know yet. Just great feeling. Good Lord took care of us right here, and boys just played their tails off, you know, fought and scrapped. It's a defensive battle. Our daggum defense stepped up. Offense got first downs when we needed to. Special teams came through. You know, little things came through for us right there, and it was just a complete effort. I'm real proud of our boys.
How long are you?
Our coaches did an outstanding job. Seniors stepped up. This is all because of them.
Coach, go enjoy this one. Thank you very much. John, back to you.
Thank you, Scott. 16-14 Shaw. We're going to take a break. We'll wrap this thing up when we come back. Welcome back to the Georgia Dome. You just witnessed the Battle of Columbus, and it was a heavyweight bout, 16-14 Shaw. So Shaw moves on to the state title game in Class 3A. They'll meet the winner of the next game coming up here on GPB. Peach County, the Trojans at 12-1, taking on Washington County at 11-2. Should be a great one. Jim Ginocchio, DJ Jones will bring that to you coming up at around noon. That's it from the Georgia Dome. More games coming your way. We'll see you later. Goodbye.
Funding for this broadcast of the 2006 Georgia High School Association's football semifinals has been provided in part by Georgia Electric Membership Corporation, the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, IBEW Local 613, Atlanta, Wachovia, the Georgia Student Finance Commission, by viewers like you. And the Georgia High School Association, who wish to thank the Georgia Dodge dealers, State Farm, and Verizon Wireless for their support of high school sports programming on GPB.